Welcome back to another episode with Sam Larson Studio, and today we're going to be talking about how to draw Mario. Why Mario? Because he's a fun one for an example of exaggeration. Alright, so basically, a bunch of ways to draw Mario. Okay, we start out with our basic circle, give a big circle for the nose. He's got that hat, basically is a bump in the back, bigger bump in the front, nice little U shape there, circle here, draw an M, and now we got the basic feel of Mario. Big mustache made up of a few lumps. Big things that make Mario look like Mario. We gotta have that hat, we gotta have that nose, and we gotta have that mustache. From there you can just kind of freestyle a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna give him the ear here, and then generally, not always, but sometimes you'll have that little bump as the chin. And you can just do an eye there. And like if I want to, I would just fill in that eye a little bit more and do it more like that. Have it so there's the ring going around it. Eyebrows going on. You know, the whole 9 yards. That's the general idea of what Mario looks like, right? And then of course, if you want to, you can add the overalls and everything. Make him running, jumping. Bumps for shoes. Look at that, 2 little bumps and you've got shoes. Little tube shape, and now you've got pants. Another little tube shape. 2 more spheres. Spheres have other little spheres. Hands. Bam, sphere. Another curvy shape, and you've got a hand. Look at that. It's just like little curves. Putting that together. Remember, that doesn't have to be perfect. They're gonna make a point here, okay? Alright. Just bear with me. We got the overalls on. We've got him running and jumping and doing cool stuff, right? This doesn't look like Mario, but you can recognize it as Mario. Why is that important here? We're following the rules of cartooning. The rules of cartooning basically state you can do whatever you want, alright? So when we're drawing Mario, what do we need? We need the nose, we need the mustache, and we need the hat. We went over that, okay? Let's make sure we're still centered. So what happens if we do a circle here? A couple big lumps. Huge nose. And mustache. Just like in the Santa lesson, you can still recognize that it's going to be Mario. You just have to have certain iconic features, right? Look at that. It's very ridiculous looking, but it somehow works. Give that a little bit of red, you know. Look at that. It's just weird. It's just wild. What other shapes could we do this with? How ridiculous can you make these shapes? There's no way that could look like Mario, could it? Or could it? Look at that. You can still recognize him as being Mario. Why? Because we included the correct hat, the M, the mustache, and the huge nose. The huge nose is a huge part of this. We'll have his hat folding over top of his nose in this one, right? So now it's creasing. Why does this work? That's what makes cartooning really fun, guys. You just get to draw shapes and you get to see what happens with them, you know? Like, see how ridiculous can you make Mario and still make it so he's recognizable? As long as you got that big nose and you got that mustache, couple of eyes, couple of eyebrows, But remember, what else do we need? We need that hat. We're cutting off the hat right now. I apologize for that. Can you? Yeah, we can still see that in my camera. But you can still recognize it as Mario. Why? That's what makes cartooning really fun. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Play with the shapes, see what happens with them. Can you make Mario? Can you make him out of whatever random shapes you want to make him out of? If you want to color it in, go for it, color it in. And if you don't want to color it in, just see what happens when you play with the shapes. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.